Good evening. The Star-Spangled Banner is the national anthem of the United States of America. The lyrics come from Defense of Fort McHenry, a poem written in 1814 by the 35-year-old lawyer and amateur poet Francis Scott Key, after having witnessed the bombardment of Fort McHenry by the British Royal Navy ships in Chesapeake Bay during the Battle of Fort McHenry in the War of 1812. The poem was set to the tune of a popular British song written by John Stafford Smith for the Anacreontic Society, a men's social club in London. The Anacreontic song, with various lyrics, was already popular in the United States. Set to Key's poem and renamed The Star-Spangled Banner, it would soon become a well-known American patriotic song. With a range of 1.5 octaves, it is known for being difficult to sing. Although the poem has 4 stanzas, only the first is commonly sung today. The Star-Spangled Banner was recognized for official use by the Navy in 1889 and by President Woodrow Wilson in 1916. It was made the national anthem by a congressional resolution on March 3, 1931, which was signed by President Herbert Hoover. Please rise and salute the flag as the band plays our nation's anthem. Happy 4th of July and welcome to our 6th concert of the 2014 season. We have an excellent patriotic lineup for you. Our first piece is American Patrol, a popular march written by F.W. Meacham in 1885. Written originally for piano, it was then arranged for wind band and published by Carly Disher in 1891. It was later arranged for Glenn Miller's swing band by Jerry Gray in 1941 and was also arranged by composer Morton Gold. It incorporates melodies from other patriotic songs of the era, such as Columbia, The Gem of the Ocean, and Dixie. The patrol format was popular in the second half of the 19th century, and a number of compositions are so entitled. The format was intended to represent a military band approaching, passing, and fading into the distance. It usually involved an introduction, played piano or pianissimo, imitating bugle calls or drums, then a theme played a little bit louder, then another very loud theme, and a return to the first theme, gradually dying away and finishing pianissimo, piano pianissimo, or even softer. I hope you enjoy this piece, American Patrol. Liberty Bell March was composed by John Philip Sousa in 1893. It is often associated with the British TV comedy program Monty Python's Flying Circus. The Liberty Bell was written for Sousa's unfinished operetta, The Devil's Deputy, which fell through. Shortly afterwards, Sousa and his band manager, George Hinton, attended the Columbian Exposition in Chicago and watched the spectacle America, in which a backdrop depicting the Liberty Bell was lowered. Hinton suggested the Liberty Bell as the title of Sousa's recently completed march. Coincidentally, Sousa received a letter from his wife saying their son had marched in a parade in honor of the Liberty Bell. Sousa agreed. The march is played as part of an exhibit in the Liberty Bell Center. The United States Marine Corps Band has played the Liberty Bell March at the last 4 presidential inaugurations, the 1993 inauguration of President Bill Clinton, the 2005 inauguration of President George W. Bush, and the 2009 and 2013 inaugurations of President Barack Obama. The Liberty Bell is also the official march past of the Canadian Forces Public Affairs Branch. Please enjoy this classic Sousa march. The opening song for the television series Victory at Sea, which was a documentary series about naval warfare during World War II that was originally broadcast by NBC in 1952 to 1953. It was condensed into a film in 1954. The music soundtrack by Richard Rodgers and Robert Russell Benton was recorded and sold as record albums. Rodgers, who had just finished a run of several successful Broadway musicals, contributed 12 themes, short piano compositions 1 minute or 2 in length. Robert Russell Benton did the scoring, transforming Rodgers' themes for a variety of moods and composing much more original material than Rodgers. The Victory at Sea series, which won an Emmy Award in 1954 as Best Public Affairs Program, played an important part in establishing historic documentaries as a viable television genre. I hope you enjoy this well-known television intro, Victory at Sea. Mr. Mooney would like to dedicate this song to our beloved librarian and bass clarinet, Miss Ellie Bond. You're welcome. God Bless the USA is an American patriotic song written and recorded by country music artist Lee Greenwood. It reached number 7 on the Billboard magazine Hot Country Singles chart when originally released in the spring of 1984 and was played at the 1984 Republican National Convention with President Ronald Reagan and First Lady Nancy Reagan in attendance. The song gained greater prominence during the Gulf War in 1990 and 1991 as a way of boosting morale. The popularity of the song rose sharply after the September 11, 2001 attacks and during the 2003 invasion of Iraq, and the song was re-released as a single, re-entering the country music charts at number 16. Greenwood said that he, quote, wanted to write it my whole life. When I got to that point, we were doing 300 days a year on the road, and we were on our 4th or 5th album on MCA. I called my producer and I said, I need to do this. I've always wanted to write a song about America, and I said we just needed to be more united. Feel free to sing along to this heartfelt song, God Bless the USA. National Emblem is a march composed in 1902 and published in 1906 by Edwin Eugene Bagley. Bagley composed the score during a 1902 train tour with his family band. He became frustrated with the ending and tossed the composition in the trash can. Members of the band fortunately retrieved it and secretly rehearsed the score in the baggage car. Bagley was surprised when the band informed him minutes before the next concert that they would perform it. It became the most famous of all of Bagley's marches. John Philip Sousa was once asked to list the 3 most effective street marches ever written. Not surprisingly, Sousa listed 2 of his own compositions, but for the 3rd, he selected National Emblem. National Emblem was the favorite march composition of Frederick Fennell, who made an arrangement of it in 1981. Fennell called the piece as perfect a march as a march can be. Prepare to hear the perfection in this piece, National Emblem. American Folk Song Suite was arranged by Bob Loden in 1985. It contains several tunes that you may not know by name, but you could probably hum along to instantly, such as When Johnny Comes Marching Home Again, Bury Me Not in the Lone Prairie, Turkey in the Straw, Shenandoah, and Camptown Races. Bob Loden was an internationally known arranger and composer. He was one of the best-known modern-day arrangers for orchestra, bands, and jazz bands. His works not only encompass professional orchestras, film, and recordings, but he was a major contributor of musical arrangements for Americans' college and high school performers. Mr. Loden was the chief arranger for over 100 recordings of 101 strings. Please enjoy his piece, American Folk Song Suite. America the Beautiful is an American patriotic song. The lyrics were written by Catherine Lee Bates and the music composed by church organist and choir master Samuel Augustus Ward. Bates originally wrote the words as a poem, Pike's Peak, first published in the 4th of July edition of the church periodical, The Congregationalist, in 1895. In 1893, at the age of 33, Bates, an English professor at Wellesley College, had taken a train trip to Colorado Springs, Colorado, to teach a short summer school session at Colorado College. Several of the sights on her trip inspired her, and they found their way into her poem, including the World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago, the White City, with its promise of the future contained within its alabaster buildings, the wheat fields of America's heartland, Kansas, through which her train was riding on July 16th, and the majestic view of the Great Plains from high atop Zebulon's Pike's Peak. On the pinnacle of that mountain, the words of the poem started to come to her, and she wrote them down upon returning to her hotel room at the original Antlers Hotel. The poem was initially published 2 years later to commemorate the 4th of July. Ward's music, combined with the Bates poem, was first published in 1910, entitled America the Beautiful. Close your eyes and imagine the picturesque scenes that Bates would have seen on her cross-country journey as you listen to America the Beautiful, as arranged by Carmen Dragon. Now we'll hear Americans We, a march composed by Henry Fillmore. Fillmore is the most famous for his series of 15 tunes called the Trombone Family, all of which feature his signature trombone smear. Americans We is a very uplifting and distinctly American-sounding piece, and one of Fillmore's best-known marches. Fillmore had problems deciding on a title for this march. His band was giving a series of concerts at the local zoo, so he would introduce the new work as the Cincinnati Zoo one day and as Pure Food and Health the next. Finally realizing that it was probably his finest march, he published it in 1929 as Americans We and dedicated it to all of us. Vivacious, solid, and appealing, this march has the qualities that characterized Fillmore's long life as an irresistible public performer. I hope you enjoy this piece, Americans We. America was written by Irving Berlin in 1918 and revised by him in 1938. The song takes the form of a prayer for God's blessing and peace for the nation, with intro lyrics saying, "As we raise our voices in a solemn prayer," and the later lyrics, "Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above." Shortly after becoming an American citizen in 1918, Irving Berlin, already a successful popular lyricist and composer, was inducted and stationed at Camp Upton in Yaphank, Long Island, New York. He beguiled his commanding officers into allowing him to write a rousing musical comedy revue, which would serve to raise both funds and Army morale. For the finale of this production, Yip Yank, Yap Hank, Berlin wrote the original "God Bless America," but he felt the song was too solemn for a comedy and put it aside for 20 years. Then in the fall of 1938, as fascism and war threatened Europe, Irving Berlin decided to write a peace song. He recalled an unpublished version of a song that he had set aside in a trunk, took it out, and shaped it into a second national anthem, the one you'll now hear, "God Bless America." A Jefferson Portrait was composed by Elliot Del Borgo in 2001. It was inspired by the Declaration of Independence and is complete with excerpts from Thomas Jefferson's words in the document, narrated by Mr. Jim Baker. Del Borgo earned degrees from SUNY Potsdam, Temple University, and the Philadelphia Conservatory of Music, where he studied theory and composition with Vincent Persichetti and trumpet with Gilbert Johnson. In 1973, he was granted the doctoral equivalency and was elected to the American Bandmasters Association in 1993. Del Borgo taught instrumental music in Philadelphia public schools and was professor of music at the Crane School of Music, where he held teaching and administrative positions for 29 years. He was an award-winning member of the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers. He was a frequent consultant, clinician, and lecturer and adjudicator in the United States and abroad. He wrote music for the 1980 Winter Olympics in Lake Placid and published more than 600 compositions for a variety of media, including 2 volumes entitled Foundations for Strings. His music reflects the aesthetics of the 20th century musical ideals through its eclectic nature and vigorous harmonic and rhythmic style. Elliot Del Borgo is remembered with deep admiration by many, those who knew him as a student, as a teacher, and as a colleague. Crane School of Music Dean Dr. Michael Sitton said, His contributions to the school were very significant, and his influence as a brilliant composer and dedicated music educator has extended throughout the profession. Please enjoy Del Borgo's piece, A Jefferson Portrait.
To assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind require that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies. representatives of the United States of America in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of right, ought to be free and independent states. That they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is, and ought to be, totally dissolved. Support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
Our final piece tonight comes from the March King, The Stars and Stripes Forever, is a patriotic American march widely considered to be the magnum opus of composer John Philip Sousa. By act of Congress, it is the national march of the United States of America. In his autobiography, Marching Along, Sousa wrote that he composed the march on Christmas Day in 1896. He was on an ocean liner on his way home from a vacation with his wife in Europe and had just learned of the recent death of David Blakely, the manager of the Sousa Band. He composed the march in his head and committed the notes to paper on arrival in the U.S. The march was an immediate success, and Sousa's band played it at almost every concert until his death over 25 years later. Sousa also composed lyrics to the march, which are not as well known as the music itself. I'm sure you'll recognize this well-known march, Stars and Stripes Forever. Thank you for joining us for this special concert. Please join us again next week for our regularly scheduled concert on Thursday. Have a fun and safe weekend, and don't forget about the fireworks in Pure Marquette at 9. Have a good evening.
Channel 7 and 98 TV and web broadcasting are made possible through contributions and donations from viewers like you. Thank you for your support.